The first thing I noticed when coming back to this code after our last few videos is that I misspelled the method verify Twitter result. I'll correct that now. And I did it right here with Verity. So that's supposed to be verify. And the second thing I noticed were several warnings that we have in this code now. If we look right here, we're getting TM main controller may not respond to document alert with title with message. It also may not respond to update preferences. And if we look over here on the right hand side, you see this little dash right here? That's saying there's another warning. If we scroll down there, I bet we get the same thing. Here again, we have the verified Twitter result from activity may not respond. And this is a perfectly legitimate warning that we're getting from Xcode. The reason that we're getting these warnings is that we did not declare them in our interface file. There is a slight problem though. I do not want these particular methods in the interface file. They are really private methods that should only be accessed from within inside this file. If we add them to the interface file, then any other file would have direct access to them as well. So as you probably guessed, there is a way around this, and that's called a category. So the next thing we'll do is create a private category, and that will inform the compiler of these methods, and that way we can use them without getting these compiler warnings. Creating a category is simple. We redeclare the interface, and instead of subclassing it, we add the word private to the end and wrap that in parens. You do not have to use the word private, and in fact, you shouldn't in every case. You can add several categories to your implementation file and group the methods according to activity or purpose. This is one more technique to help you organize your code. We need to implement the category at the top of the file. I'm going to add it right below our global variable declarations. And here I'm going to type in @interface, and I start getting code completion. So I'll go ahead and use this. I'm going to go between each one of those stops using the tab key. You can also use the control// key. So here I'm going to use the same name as our class. So it's TM main controller. And we're not going to use any of that. We're going to put parens and then type private. Now another thing about categories is that you cannot put instance variables in there. So we're just going to use this for methods. I'll remove all of that. Now we have 4 methods that we need to add to our category. And after we do this, we can test the application for any errors that we may have introduced during our last coding session. And the first one I'll put in is update window title. And then we have update preferences. We have read preferences. And the verified Twitter results from activity. And I'll put that on its own line. Now that our category is in place, all of our warnings should disappear. Let's build a project and see if that's true. And to build, I'm going to use Command B. Okay, well, it looks like we have one warning. I'm going to click on that in the bottom right-hand corner to see what it is. And it takes me right to it in the code. And here it says that TM main controller may not respond to document alert with title. And that's true because we don't have a document alert with title. We have a document modal alert. Now that that's changed, we'll build again. And we succeeded. And there's a shortcut to get this panel at the top to disappear. It's Command-Shift-E. That'll toggle it on and off. Now that we've built successfully, I think it's time we test the application out. Instead of building and run, since we just built the application, I'm going to go to the menu at the top, click on Run, and then Run. And this will run our latest build of our application. I'll log in using Command Comma, and the first thing I notice when that window comes down, we put a text field right here, and it doesn't have any text in it. So I think we should do something to set that up to where every time this window comes down, there's text in that. It looks a little strange having that large gap up there with nothing in it. So I'll put in my credentials. Hit return. And now we see that the window title's updated. So it says Twitter me at Alan Craig Demo. Our display text says login successful. We now know that all of our refactoring and all of the code that we added is working. Let's go over and look at our preferences file and see if it got written in correctly. I'll go to the Finder. If you remember, our preferences will be in our home folder, under Library, and then under Preferences. And this will be right at the top. There it is. I'll use the spacebar to do a quick look. And looking at our dictionary, we can see that our authorized key comes back with true, our username, Alan Craig Demo, and the user pass, Demo Pass. So our application is writing to the preferences file, and now we need to add some code so that our application will read the preferences file when it first launches.